Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into the AI company Rezolve, ticker RZLV. They just dropped some huge news that was supposed to be amazing for their stock, but instead, well, it kicked off an absolute roller coaster. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll tackle that really puzzling announcement. Then we'll zoom out and see what the broader market is doing. After that, we're going to dig into this complicated new revenue model they've cooked up. And that leads us to the big fight, the short sellers versus the options traders. Finally, we'll look at the charts to see if they can tell us who's about to win this thing. So this whole story really kicks off this morning with a major press release from Rezolve AI. And, this was the kind of news that on paper should have sent the stock flying. But the market had other plans. And this really gets us to the central mystery here, right? The company puts out this big, exciting news about a new way to make money. The stock pops right at the open, and then all of those gains just completely vanish. So what on earth went wrong? I mean, just look at how fast this all played out. They make their move back in October, buying this other company. Then, this morning, they announced the new strategy. At the market open, everybody loves it. The stock jumps to $3.10. But then, poof. Just a few hours later, all that optimism is gone, and the stock is actually down. That tells you there is way more going on here than just a simple press release. See, the thing is, Rezolve wasn't just fighting its own battle today. The entire market was in a pretty bad mood, and even the greatest announcement can get dragged down when there's a sea of red out there. The source we're looking at points to a perfect storm of bad news hitting the market. You've got negative manufacturing data, oil prices are climbing because of global tensions, and when there's that much uncertainty, investors get nervous. They start dumping their riskier stocks first, and yep, that includes a company like RZLV. And to make it all worse, you've got the trading algorithms, the bots, that just pile on, automatically selling into that weakness and making the drop even bigger and faster. But it wasn't just the bad market. The source suggests that Rezolve's big announcement was actually a huge part of the problem. They were clearly hoping for a home run here, but the details of their new plan might have just confused and scared investors off. So this is it. This is the big idea they're pinning their hopes on, the SQD revenue model. It all comes from that company they bought back in October, and the whole thing is built around cryptocurrency. Basically, the idea is that they'll make money based on how much customers want these specific crypto tokens. And here it is. This is maybe the biggest red flag of all, according to the source. Right in the company's official press release, they had a section literally titled, "What This Does in Simple Terms." And the analyst's point is brilliant. If you have to tell people you're simplifying it for them, it's already way, way too complicated. And it wasn't just confusing. The timing was just terrible. The analysis points out that if they'd launched this back during the big crypto craze in early 2025, hey, maybe it would have worked. But launching it now, it kind of just looks like they're late to the party. And the whole idea is just too complex to get those everyday retail investors, their core base, excited about it. So you take this confusing announcement, you throw it into a really tough market, and what you get is a battlefield. RZLV stock has become an absolute war zone. On one side, you have traders betting it's all going to collapse. And on the other, you have traders making huge bets that it's about to soar. All right, first up in this fight, let's talk about the shorts. These are the traders who are actively betting the stock is going to go down. They borrow shares, they sell them immediately, and then they hope to buy them back later at a cheaper price and pocket the difference. And right now, they are betting big against Rezolve. And the data shows these two sides are just locked in a death grip. You've got the bears, the short sellers, who are absolutely piling on, convinced this stock is headed for disaster. But at the exact same time, you've got the bulls who are using options to make these massive bets that it's about to rocket higher. So get this. This number is just wild. Nearly 22%. Let that sink in. Almost a quarter of Rezolve AI's entire publicly available stock is being shorted right now. That is a massive concentrated bet against this company. It looks like the shorts have found their next big target. And yet, on the complete other side of that trade, you've got this. Over $727,000 has been put into bullish call options. Those are straight-up bets that the price is going up. It's a total contradiction to what the short sellers are doing. But here's where it gets even crazier. Even inside the options market, traders are completely split down the middle. It's almost a perfect 50-50 split. 52% are betting it goes up, 48% are betting it goes down. This is the very definition of a trader tug of war. So, with the bulls and the bears locked in a dead heat, What do? Well, the source turns to the stock chart to see if it can break the tie. Technical analysis is all about looking for patterns and clues in a stock's past price movements to try and figure out where it might be headed next. And the chart gives us 4 critical price levels to watch like a hawk. $2.31, that's the absolute floor. If the stock breaks below that, it could be really bad news. 265 is the key pivot point it's fighting over right now. Now, if the bulls want to take control, they first have to break through that wall at 271. If they can do that, it opens up a path to their next big target at 337. But here's the real takeaway from the chart. The stock is literally being squeezed between two super important trend lines. You can think of it like a coiled spring. It's trading in such a tight, narrow range that a huge, powerful move is almost guaranteed to happen soon. The only question is, which way? Up or down? And the event that could finally let that coiled spring snap is right around the corner. The big date to circle on your calendar is January 13th. That's when the company is holding a conference call, and you can bet they're going to be facing some really tough questions about this whole complicated new strategy. So that's where we're left. You've got a massive army of short sellers betting against the company, a confusing new strategy that nobody seems to understand, and a make-or-break company call just days away. So will Rezolve AI's huge gamble actually pay off, or are the bears about to win this fight? According to the charts, we are not going to have to wait very long to find out.